It's Man Cave Monday!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Man Cave Monday, and this will be our May episode. We got a special guest with us once again, but first, let's introduce our regular cast. I have Days with me, I have Dex with me, I have Dre with me, and our special guest this month is Jay Burke, aka Access Immortal.
Finally made it on the show.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm
Well, for a
appreciative.
long time, we weren't doing guests for a long time.
I know. I was like, okay,
So,
you're not doing guests. I don't blame you. But like now that you're doing guests, I'm like, finally, because I love these
you know,
topics. I want to talk about some of this.
right. Yeah. Listen, people have been asking, but for a long minute, we weren't accepting any guests. So we're doing some guests for a little while. You're our second guest. And so we'll see how this guest thing goes. Maybe we'll have some more guest appearances. And welcome aboard the Man Cave. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for having me.
So it's a pleasure. So let's get right into it. We got a hip hop guy with us, and let's get right into hip hop. You know what I mean? Let's start with hip hop. And so, there's some interesting things going on in the hip hop sphere, in hip hop culture as of late. And wait, Days, you're muted. We can't hear you.
I said I'm loving all of the terminology that I'm learning. Like sweat equity. Sweat equity.
Right, exactly. Sweat equity, what's the other one? Situations and circumstance.
Yes.
The manosphere. It's all
yes.
of this. All of these terms are floating around.
Mansplaining. That was
mansplaining, right? Mansplaining. Yeah. That's another. You gotta love that. So there's a lot of things going on in the hip hop sphere. A lot of things going on in the hip hop culture right now. And two of them really made me think about this topic. One is there's a large conversation going on right now with the Gerard Carmichael show. And in the Gerard Carmichael show, in episode 1, he reveals that he has feelings for his very close friend, Tyler, the Creator. And in the show, they have an exchange where Tyler, the Creator, basically says, we're friends, I'm not interested, and kind of disses him, to be honest. And I thought it would be done there, but apparently not, because that moment went viral. And even at Coachella, which just happened, Tyler, the Creator, said on stage, it's crazy when your best friend be trying to fuck you. And the crowd reacted in a large way to that statement. At the same time, we have many allegations being brought forward against Diddy.
This video was recorded prior to CNN releasing the video in the hotel.
But what I find interesting is it seems like people are more concerned with, is he gay, than anything else. We hear about him allegedly paying to have sex with the actor we know as Carl Winslow. We hear about accusations with him having sexual engagement with men in front of Cassie. And we're hearing a lot more about this as opposed to what might or might not be true with the allegations, how the court system is treating him, or rather how the feds are treating him, because he ain't even go to court. He's not arrested. He's not locked up. And all of these things have been happening. But still, the focus remains, hey, what's up with Diddy, man? He's doing a lot of gay stuff, no? So, between these two topics, I was very curious. Do we think today that hip-hop is still homophobic? That's my question for the room. Yeah, Dre.
I don't want to answer that yet, but you said that Tyler, Creator, at a show, the crowd responded in a large way. Like, can you expound on that? Because I don't know about that.
Some people cheered, some people laughed. Go ahead, Daze.
I thought the word you used was awkward, right? You said he had like an awkward response. That was the word you said?
I'll be honest, I don't know the exact word. I just know they had a big reaction, and I'll explain. So some people laughed, some people cheered. It was a big reaction.
Okay.
So it was explosive, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't remember. I don't want to misquote. I don't know exactly. But point being, there was a big reaction, right? And so it wasn't like he was booed off stage, right? Nobody threw a tomato. Nobody booed him. They didn't have anyone shovel him off stage. It was a big response. So I think we've seen lots of homophobic things in hip hop. I think we all know that. Even last episode, we spoke about how even sending emojis can be interpreted as homophobic, right? How a lot of this has to do with people's homophobia in the hood.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of some of the same things. And I guess I'll start since I'm already explaining anyway. I do think hip hop is still homophobic to a certain extent. Do I think that everyone in hip hop is homophobic? No, I don't. But I think and I believe we are becoming more lenient. And I guess that's the best word to say, even though I don't like that word. Maybe the better word is accepting. But I think that what is happening is we are seeing people become, more accepting of certain things. But even at Coachella, here's another example. Even at Coachella, there's footage that went viral of
Uzi.
Jaden Smith. He creeps up behind Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber starts whining on him. After the whining, Justin Bieber gives Jaden Smith a kiss on the cheek. And that's viral. Why? Not because they got good dance moves, not because they're two popular guys. I'm keeping it a buck. I'm calling a spade a spade. Because I'm gonna be honest, even a very popular podcast, the Joe Budden podcast, they spoke about it. And when they spoke about it, it was that, oh, these two guys are gay. Sometimes when you see your old work, they get excited and they give you a kiss on the cheek and say, see you later. So maybe it's becoming more lenient, more accepting, sure. But these things are not going viral. People cannot stop speaking about Diddy's quote unquote gayness for no reason. I think today, yes, hip hop is still homophobic, even though it is becoming more accepting. It's not at a place where, hey, anybody could be accepting. It doesn't matter what you do or say. It's all good. I think we could get there, but I don't think we're there today. That's my thought. I throw it to y'all now.
First, I didn't hear the whole Tyler Jared Carmichael. I heard some other news with Jared Carmichael, but with Tyler, it doesn't even faze me. He said something like that on stage because he likes to be ambiguous anyway. You know what I mean? You know, the first thing that comes to mind is the Funkmaster Flex freestyle a couple of years ago, which was bizarre. And Funkmaster Flex is there, sitting there, all the stuff he said in there. So I don't even worry about him. But yeah, hip hop is, yes, still homophobic. Not like it was in the past, but it still is. You know what I mean? So that's why Tyler the Creator, I'm like, whatever he does, who cares? Frank Ocean. I think of people like Frank Ocean. Wasn't he part of that whole crew of Tyler the Creator's crew? Was he part of that crew? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, Frank Ocean, we rock with him. He's a great singer. I love his songs. He sings good. He's a good guy when he's making music. You know what I mean? Um, the Jaden Smith Bieber thing, I don't know. I can't call that, but hey, do what you want to do. I don't care. But this is why I know hip hop still a majority is homophobic. The way Meek Mill jumped out the window when academics was just making jokes on him. He lost his mind. He threatened to kill him. He was gonna find him. He was gonna pull up to his house. I'm like, relax, man, relax. You know what I mean? But so yeah, a good majority is still definitely still homophobic. That's all I gotta say. The Tyler thing doesn't even faze me. I'm like, Tyler does that kind of stuff. We don't care. I mean, none of us really care. But the Tyler thing, I don't care. The Justin Bieber Jaden thing, I don't know. They're homeboys. I don't know what they're doing. I don't care. They want to be provocative, get the crowd talking. I don't know. You know what I mean? But yes, the answer is yes. Hip hop is still homophobic, but like you said, I agree. It's not to the extent that it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago. You know what I mean? So there you go. That's my answer.
All right. Days, Dre, Jay Burke.
I feel like when you're not really around like different lifestyles, you look at it the same way you always did, like when you first came across it. Like if you grew up in the hood your whole life and you don't travel, you're gonna see somebody that's gay, and the first thing that comes to your mind is like, oh, he's soft, he's sissy, I don't want him around me, because that's all you ever knew. You don't travel places where you see gay people. You don't travel places where gay people kind of like aren't the stereotype that you believe they are. That's all you're seeing. So when you're not around that stuff, you're gonna always hold that in. And when you get around like the corporate world or like business people, and they just happen to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gay by the way," and you knew them for 5 years, and you're like, "I never knew that." You start being like, "Oh, well, you're not the stereotype I thought you were. You don't act a certain way," and you'd be like, "No, I'm gay. Like, why do I have to act a certain way? Like, why do I have to be like overly flamboyant?" And I feel like with a lot of these hip hop artists, I don't know if it's Lil Nas X or something like that. But I feel like certain people have made it more acceptable because you see that they've come out and whether they are gay or they're not gay, they're acting a certain way and they're still being accepted. They're still having success based on the things that they're doing. And it's not kind of like tarnishing their career. It's not like back in the 90s, it's like, oh, you the gay rapper. That doesn't even mean anything anymore. That's not like an insult to somebody. It's like somebody would be like, okay, I'm the gay rapper. So what? I'm still selling millions of records. So I just feel like it's always going to be homophobia depending upon where you come from, where your hip hop views come from. And if you've been exposed to other things, I just think you don't see it the way you might have saw it back in the 90s or the early 2000s.
No.
Okay. Dre, Days?
I really don't know where to start. I'll start here. When you say, okay, is hip hop homophobic? Right? Is there a phobia of gay people? And so for me, I'm like, I never believed in that term to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I tell you I suffer from arachnophobia, it's like, oh, Dre is afraid of spiders. He's afraid of snakes. If I say, oh, I suffer from arachnophobia, oh, Dre is afraid of heights. He's a fear of heights. I don't know if people are afraid of gay people. So I don't really like that term,
Yeah, I agree.
homophobic.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah,
It's like,
phobia is fear. Fear. No one's scared of
no,
them.
yeah, right. No one is afraid of gay people. Now, is there plenty of ignorance and I want to say maybe some unfairness or whatever towards gay people in hip hop right now? Yeah, it's still there. Is there still, you know, judging gay people or poking fun at a gay person in hip hop just because he's gay? Yeah, that still goes on. I have to agree with that. Um, but I feel like, you know, a lot what Jay Burke is saying is a lot of people not um it's still this old school way of looking at things. You know what I'm saying? It's still just like uh hip hop is coming out of this like ghetto, right? And this ghetto experience. And part of this ghetto experience coming from a lot of black folks, that's like the cradle of it, you know, it's always been not so accepting. I guess that's what I'm saying. Not so accepting of people who live different lifestyles. And that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate that people still tease people just for whatever their choices are. I hope that I feel like yes, I think it's better than it was in the '90s. It's better than it was in 2000s, but is it still there? If someone is like, okay, I'm gay and I'm gonna be a hip hop artist, it's still this sort of like salacious. It's still this kind of like, ooh, that person is gay and they're rapping. And I hope that as we move on in time, that that's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? It's like the way motherfuckers were back in the days of a white rapper. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, yo, he's a white rapper, white rapper. Now, if somebody is a white rapper, we like, so the fuck what, right? Nobody gives a shit. If somebody is a Japanese rapper or a German rapper or whatever, like people are like, so what, right? Because the culture is growing and it's being affected by the world. And so you have everybody who feel like they could get on the mic, just get on it. And some of those people are going to be gay. So I really feel like, you know, uh, it's a lot of just ignorance in terms of just people's sexual choices Yeah, installation. Like when you see this dude grinding on another dude, it's like, well, that's what they like. What can I say? You know what I mean? That's what can I say? And I think what happens is people always put themselves in it. You know, oh, I can't be me. That can't be me. But it's like it's really not about you. That's their relationship. You know, I remember like 10 years ago when Jaden threw on the dress and the internet was on fire. You know what I'm saying? Oh my
Right.
yo, and they calling up Will Smith. Yo, Will, what's up with your son? The dress, what's going on? And Will was like, that's the way he want to express himself. What I'm supposed to do? You know, like, that's his life. He's a young man right now. He want to do what he want to do. That's it. You know. So
Right.
I just think that I hope that we grow mentally, and it doesn't. But in terms of the question, I don't think it's a phobia, but I do think it's a lot of ignorance when it comes to uh, alternative lifestyles that are not hetero. There you
Okay.
Um, first of all, I want to say I like how Dre started, right? You want to talk about etymology, right? You want to talk about the history of a word, the study of a word, the origin of a word. And I do feel that people do use things out of context because even though, let's say, your phobia, it might not be a fear of that person itself, but it may be a fear of the lifestyle or of the unknown. Let's say the unknown, right? But what I wanted to touch on when surrounding hip hop as a whole, right? Could it be that people have been subjected or they've been at parties or they've been certain places where things were over sexualized in that fashion, in that manner, right? Something could have been introduced to somebody in a way where it creates a complex. And whether if they partake in that lifestyle or not, they probably was in the vicinity where somebody was taking part, and maybe the act itself probably was too much for them to absorb or to take in, right? We are talking about hip hop, right? Because I do feel like a lot of it is 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 suppression. I feel like some people seen shit, they know shit, they've done shit, they've been around people that have done shit, seen shit, know shit in that regard. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like being around something where you develop a certain level of resentment for some shit because of how it was exposed to you.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Because as you guys were talking, and then you brought up the whole Diddy thing, there are people who probably do partake in that lifestyle that it's not public. You understand what I'm saying? So the Justin Biebers and the Jaden Smiths probably was at a mansion party where they saw people openly expressing themselves like that. The celebrities hugging on this one and, so and so hugging such and such from behind. I said to somebody the other day, I said, yo, they getting out of character. It's like acting. You know how you acting? You know how you was watching somebody was talking about an interview with Diddy where they felt like he got out of character. He started to show his feminine side. You feel me? And he had to readjust and get back. The same thing with the Uzis. People talking about Uzi at Coachella, and how he was being very finicky. His movements was very like feminine. You get what I'm saying? And I'm saying to myself, man, that yes, it could still be some type of like homophobic thing, but I think it's a lot deeper than what's going on. I feel like some people probably been exposed to some shit. There's a lot of things that's circulating within hip hop that we don't know about. You understand what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
it could affect some people perception in a way where they could perceive something a certain way, and that's how they continue to see it, right? Because a lot of people are perverted. That's what I wanted to talk about when you talked about the Jada Smith thing. I thought about perversion. Like when you're not looking at it, incorporating any emotion, you just see it for an innocent act. But when everybody's constantly perverting everything, I can't even hug my boy Jay without them. I can't even dap this one up because everybody operating from a place of perversion. They just see things the way that they see and it's tainted. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it is. You know? But I'm with Jay. Phobia means that you are afraid of something. And I don't think there's a fear there. I think that some people are choosing to make a decision how they live their lives and you know how they want people around them, who they choose to be around them. in retrospect to how they live their lives as well. Like, cause it's a choice. You can make an option. Like, yo, I don't want to be in this environment. I don't want to be in that environment. And it don't got to be no emotion involved. You don't got to be, it don't got to do nothing with nobody. It's just like, yo, this is my decision. This is how I choose to live. And this is the circle I choose to be in. You know what I mean? Whether if you agree with that or not, that's my decision.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, let me ask this. So, do we all agree that there may not be a fear, but there is definitely a stigma surrounding the lifestyle, the quote unquote gay lifestyle in hip hop? Because I think, I see you nodding, Days. I'm gonna let you respond in a second. Because I think you both said it very well, right? I don't think it's a fear we see that it's like, oh no, I'm running away from a gay person like a person would run away from a spider in Dre's example, right? Or I'm shaking because I gotta climb up the ladder to the high place and I'm scared of heights. No, we're not seeing that. I don't see anybody doing the Harlem Shake when they see a gay person in hip hop. But I do think there is a stigma that is attached to being gay in the hip hop world. So I want to ask, do we all agree on that part? Because I agree, you guys said it very
Yeah.
well about the phobia, quote unquote. Um, and truly, I think last part, and then I'll let y'all go. Um, I do think there's a bit of media manipulation when it comes to that phobia, right? Even Dave Chappelle and his trans jokes, it was said that he had a phobia against trans people. And I don't think he necessarily was scared of them. Now, stigma, sure. Fear, no. So that's where I'm at. I think stigma, absolutely. Fear, no. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
So Jay, real quick, before they expound, because so you would agree that they're using the word out of context.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's media manipulation, which we see all the time. I think it's that oh, okay, uh Days always wear shades, right? So I'm gonna say as Fox News that Days is scared to not wear shades. He has sun phobia
Right.
because he wear you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He got sun phobia. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rapper, and that would be the headline. Rapper Days the Emperor has sun phobia. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Ultraviolet phobia. I don't. So I think that's what happens. I think we use these buzzwords, or not us, but the media uses buzzwords all the time, right? If I disagree with something that's quote unquote Republican, then I must be a leftist. Because how could I not agree with the Republican? I have to be the opposite. I have to be completely against the Republican agenda because I said, oh, I think I don't really agree with what they said about economics right there. So I think they use buzzwords and they flip words for manipulative purposes. Absolutely. And I think that is
Emotional
I agree
manipulation.
with you guys.
Emotional
Huh?
manipulation. I agree. Emotional. They
Oh
manipulate
yeah,
your
yeah,
emotions.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? We're gonna manipulate you through this vehicle called the media to then manipulate your emotions, your decisions, your purchasing power. It's a whole rabbit hole, no pun intended.
Correct.
No, I agree. It is a stigma. Also, I also see a little bit further than that because when you use the word fear, especially to a someone uh presenting themselves as macho, and you say, "Oh, well, you're scared of gay people." Well, no, I'm not. Well, if you weren't scared, then you would let him hold you by the waist and you would grind. Because
Oh,
if
it's
you would do that,
manipulation. It's
if
manipulation.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's what Jay was saying. It's like that manipulation. So you use these particular words to say, well, see, you're scared because if you're not scared, then you will allow these kind of things to happen on you. And I think that's the problem. Taking it a little bit further because it could be like, hey, that's your lifestyle. That's what you want to do. That's great, but when one chooses not to partake in that and they draw the line in the sand, um I think it's manipulation to now call that a fear because that's something that someone says, hey, I'm not going to participate in it. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? And so you start to manipulate. Yeah, well, you're scared because if you wasn't scared, you would let this person do this and that to you. And a lot, and I'm saying that because a lot of times That's what predators do, right? Predators will do that, especially to like young boys and stuff like that, to be like, hey, if you're not scared of it, then come inside my office and show me your penis or some stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the mindset of a predator. And so when I see the media acting sort of like a predator, I get a little bit concerned about that, because no, you should not. You should accept the person's lifestyle. That's the way it is. Oh, okay. But
Dre, your video cut out.
yeah, my bad. I'll be there in a second. Go ahead. Y'all can take
Okay.
it.
I just want to say on this public platform, you
Am I
know,
there? Am I there?
as a
Yep.
representative, yeah, we see you,
Yep.
we see you.
Yeah.
As a representative of Man Cave, that I have known for years privately that Dex has haircut phobia.
That's a
He
fact.
refuses
That's a fact.
every time.
That is phobia. That's a fact.
Right.
I ain't even running from that.
He said the
You
evidence is
know,
his head down
it's
to his
very
spinal cord.
I ain't
That's
even
the
running from that.
evidence, Your
yeah,
Honor.
exactly. You know, I just want to make it very clear that Dex has clipper phobia. He's definitely afraid of the clippers. Every time I pass
Clipper
by a
phobia?
barbershop with Dex, he starts shaking. I have seen him shake profusely when we walk past the barbershop, and I just want to put that out there as a representative of Man Cave Monday.
Ain't no shame in
That's
that
all.
phobia. That's a fact. Word. That's why I got locks. I just stopped getting haircuts.
I think he was scared, and I couldn't hold it in anymore. You know, it was weighing on me. I had to let
Yeah.
the people
Clipper
know.
phobia.
You know what I'm
Phobia.
saying?
Clipperphobia.
Clipper
Barbershop
phobia. You know?
heights.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
No, but
yeah.
it's crazy though, right? When you see the state of hip hop, because like I said, like I really want to go back to that, because I do feel like those gentlemen been in environments where those those things probably were exploited, right? Not to say that people don't live those lifestyles, but maybe people was living those lifestyles with ill intentions. So it created a complex for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
Um,
let me ask this, because I do hear you. My question is, but do we think? Well, I guess let me back it up for a minute. But you agree it is something stigmatized throughout hip hop?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to make sure before I ask my next question. Dex and Jay, you agree?
Well, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Stigma throughout hip hop.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, hip hop
Okay.
has been so hyper masculine for
Right.
decades.
Exactly.
I
That right.
mean, of
That,
course,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's almost like an unwritten, not even unspoken. You gotta be tough. You gotta be tough. You can't be effeminate in any way or show any feminine traits whatsoever. You know, that's a
Okay.
fact.
The
Okay.
guys that sign the checks are feminine though. Ain't that
That's what's
right?
funny. That's the irony there.
Hypocrisy?
Well, that's back to the manipulation, which is why I was going to ask. So my question is, Days, to respond to you. So you saying that it's possible they were exposed to something, but my question is, do you think that's the overarching theme, or you think that the stigma existed before I ever went to a party?
No, I think it did exist before the party, but I wanted to use the example somebody gave about Meek Mill, like him being so impulsive at the remarks that was being said to him. Like that impulsiveness comes from somewhere. You understand what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like, and it was like did I said it right, right? The brother was extremely impulsive. I'm talking about flying
No, no,
off
you
the
said it right.
handle. If you uttered a letter, he was jumping out the window. That means that
Yeah,
something, he was exposed to something. He's aware of something. You understand what I'm saying?
I do think
That's just
that's
my theory.
possible.
He's aware
No,
of
no,
something.
Yeah.
I think that's possible. I think another possibility is also what Dex is saying, the hyper masculation of hip hop, right? Meek Mill is allegedly a street dude. He's very machismo, right? And so if you saying publicly that that I've been sleeping with Diddy for years, that goes against the image I've been trying to uphold of being hyper masculine.
That's
So
one.
again, not saying you're wrong. I agree that's a possibility. I think this is another
Yeah, but that
possibility.
audio, that audio, ladies and gentlemen, that
Well, did we
audio,
verify that? But did we verify that audio?
that audio, brother. I'm saying that
What audio?
we don't know, but for the people that do know, whoever that person is heard themselves,
What
and they
audio?
know that that sounds like them. You
There, for context, there's audio that was released of what is very clearly two men having a good time. Wink, wink.
with no women
Uh-huh.
involved.
Uh,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
And
J-
the allegation is that the
Days,
person
man.
who is receiving the good time is Meek Mill.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Jay Burke, what say you?
Um, I know like the whole like pause and ayo thing came from hip hop, and I said that to somebody sometime when I was telling them something. They was like, "Hey, yo, pause." 'Cause I was telling them a story about something at a party I was at, and they like, I'm like, listen, we got to stop with that pause stuff. I said, I know you not walking around all like scared of like people thinking you gay, and I know that's not me. I said, why does everybody have to say pause with every little thing? Like, why do we have to look at everything and be like pause? And to speak on that whole thing you said about the whole you think like Dave Chappelle's has like a phobia of trans people. I
No, no, no.
was
I didn't say I think that. I'm saying
well,
that's what
that's
the
not you.
media was saying.
Well, that's
Let me
what the
be
media.
clear. Wasn't me.
Well, what the media was saying. So I think a lot of people have phobias of things like that because in their head they're kind of used to looking at something a certain way and feeling like that's the way it should be. So you don't necessarily see a man and another man and be like, oh, that's natural. That's not natural for a lot of people. So when they see it, it scares them because they have whatever like irrational thought in their head, like, oh, but what if that gay person hits on me? Like, what am I going to do? Like, every gay person is just going to go chase every man down the street and try to like get with
Right.
them. That's not true, but a lot of people have that irrational fear. So I feel like a lot of people, when you accuse them of certain things or you kind of insinuate it in every way, they get very defensive, especially if they come from a street view like Meek, because the first thing they want to say is like, no, I'm not gay. And they get violent and they start making threats like to academics. And it's like, nobody's saying that directly to everybody, but sometimes it hits a nerve because maybe somebody said it before and you're bringing up a flashback that they have bad, like, bad trauma about.
And he went to jail. So no telling what type of, suppression he witnessed in there with other people getting taken advantage of. Like I remember Boozy was talking about that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point. All right. So we think yes, there's still a stigma, but it is getting better. I'm glad we're all on the same page on that point. Let's switch lanes completely and let's have a little fun.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
As in the realm of hypermasculinity, it is often said and joked about that men must conquer new pussy. I will quote Eddie Murphy Raw from 1987. He said, "It's a dick thing. You don't understand it if you don't have a dick. Men must find and conquer new pussy." That's not my quote. That, once again, is Eddie Murphy Raw 1987. So, this is something we still hear all the time. Nah, man, I've been fucking this pussy too long. I need some new pussy. Gotta get some new pussy. And so my question is, for my distinguished panel, how important is it to quote unquote conquer new pussy? I will not be going first this time on purpose. I throw it to y'all.
I'll go. I'll go. First of all, shout out. I love Eddie Murphy. I think we all do. Eddie Murphy's 63 years
Legend.
old. He's 63 years old. He's in a whole different mind space now, and that's my main point about it. Is that I think the outgoing statement to say I have to conquer new pussy is a young man's mindset. I would like to think that. I think
Okay.
I think you, and if you're an older man who thinks that, at least you have a better better discretion on how you carry it out, I would like to say. But I may learn something new in this discussion. That is a young man's mindset. I think it's someone who hasn't experienced the world, or a lot of partners, or a lot of emotions in that realm of having sex, will be more prone to say they have to conquer everything. If you just started having sex, you're going to be curious about how somebody else reacts to what you do to them. You're going to have that curiosity, I think, as a younger person. I think as you grow older and you get more experienced, uh, as much as you enjoy sex, I think you also enjoy relationships as well. I think I may be told different. I would like to think that as you grow older, I think yeah. So as much as I think we all as men enjoy sex, I think a younger man would be more prone to be thinking it's a necessity to conquer pussy, every pussy that comes in their vicinity, or to switch up, or I think it'd be more of a younger man's thing. I don't think at my age I'm worried about conquering pussy. I think I've passed through a stage of that curiosity of, oh, she look good. Let me see what she's like. Let me taste some different flavors. I think I'm more in a different state of mind. Eddie he's got like 8, 10 kids, 13 kids. They're all from wives. You know what I mean? He was married for a long time. He's divorced. He got a new partner. Uh,
Scary Spice.
oh, I forgot about that. All right, sorry. Thank you, sir. I forgot about Scary Spice. All right. So, all right. Well, that's a whole different topic, though. To me, that's not conquering. That's not trying to conquer. That's a whole different topic. We're going to save that for another podcast. That's another topic.
Okay.
The idea, though, I still feel that the desire, the fire, the fuel to say I have to conquer sexually a lot of different partners is a young man thing. I think I could be wrong. And if it's an older man thing, we have better control and self-control and discretion in how we move. We ain't going, we have a better way. We have more of a structure, so to speak. You know what I mean? That's just my initial thoughts. Like right off the top, that's the first thing I think. Let somebody else go. I'll probably learn something here.
So to put it bluntly, and then Dre, you could go. So put it bluntly, you're not trying to conquer, quote unquote, new pussy today.
No, absolutely no. No.
I just that's it.
Nah.
Go ahead, Dre.
Okay. First of all, my apologies for the technical issues. Crazy and all these connections,
You
whatever.
had earthquake.
Sorry about
You had
that.
earthquake. We heard it.
No. You know what I had is that if you don't use the right peripherals with your devices, you out of here. So I quickly learned that in about 5 seconds. But I think I'm good. I think I'm good now. Anyway,
Okay.
back to the question at hand, and I want to enhance what my man was saying. Dex, I agree, but I'm just gonna tweak it a little bit, because I'm gonna say it has nothing to do with age and everything to do with maturity.
Yes,
You know
maturation.
what I'm saying? It has
Maturation.
everything to do. I know dudes in their 50s and 60s, and they talk about conquering whatever. But I know dudes who are like 25 and they don't have that mentality because they have matured. And we know age and maturity are mutually exclusive. You know what I'm saying? They have nothing to do with each other.
This brother
One
still
Right.
in the church.
you know what I'm saying? One could be I know a lot. I mean, you think about, look how young Malcolm X was when he was like, nope, I'm done with that life. This is how I'm living. 20s. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you can have cats in their 60s that's like, yo, man, she passed me by. I gotta have it. I must conquer. And so when you use Eddie Murphy, it's like, yeah, Eddie Murphy was a young man. He had that young man sort of perspective. But what happened was that he matured and
Right.
realized, okay,
But
that's
let me just correct something real quick.
go
Real
for it.
quick.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy has 10 kids with 5 women. So
Right.
that's all out the window. But I
Right.
want you to finish up what you're saying. Like I said, I want you to finish what you're saying. I just want to say, Yeah, that's why I said I would think if we are old, I said that there would be more discretion in how if you're going to move that
Yeah,
way. You know, because
yeah.
you're right, you're totally right. Maturity will be land in any age, but you would think men in our age range will have more discretion in how they do it. Not
You
just
would
like, hey, I
hope.
got. You would hope.
One
That's what
would
I'm trying to say.
one
All
would
right, go
hope.
ahead, Seb.
But there's
Yeah.
plenty of dudes out there, 40s, 50s, 60s, even higher, and they just like that's their thing. You know what I
All
mean?
right.
Like that's
Fair. All
what
right.
they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And what happens is people like to take their immaturity and put it on everybody in their gender. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's just what men do. Men do that. Men, that's what you do. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like that's don't
Yeah.
take your immaturities and put that on all of us. You
All right.
know, because once one becomes mature, whatever age that might happen, uh, this desire to conquer women fades, is out. You know what I mean? Like that's not something that a mature man, in my view, wow, look at that. That's not something a mature man, in my view, wants to do. So yeah, I just think that that's an immature perspective, and if that's a perspective that um some immature men have, that's the perspective that immature men have. But I think once you mature as a man, I don't think that's a perspective one shares, and that's all I have to say about that.
Um, when I seen the topic list, right, and I hate to do this again, gentlemen. We talking about etymology, the origin of a word, the essence in which it stems from. When I saw the word conquering, I was like, yeah, I got to tell Jay to expound on this one because the word conquering within itself comes with negative connotations. You feel me? So,
Yes.
who wants to be conquered? Nigga, I don't want nobody conquering my fucking meal. I don't want nobody conquering my damn dinner,
Right.
conquering my bathroom. Damn it. Nobody conquering my pockets. Like,
Fair enough.
I
Fair
ain't
enough.
gonna get
Sure.
conquering my pockets. And I'm
Right.
being an a-hole because one of my mantras is confident to conquer, right? And even I wrestle with that because of the negative connotation. But what I wanted to talk about is the idea that some individuals, some men, um, may associate a part of themselves with this process, right? And a part of that being their confidence. It could be their confidence, it could be their ego. You know, I remember I was talking to a queen the other day and I told her about levels of affection. I don't know if I'm going off course. Affection, like people, brothers, being that that's the only time that you could really be vulnerable in that fashion, that of course you might be chasing those moments every fucking now and then. Because it's the only time that you could really be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And masculine at the same time. Because remember, you still conquering some pussy. You feel what I'm saying? Or new,
Quote unquote.
quote
Right.
unquote, or new pussy. But in that moment, every time you have that experience, to um you're able to operate in such a way where you don't get to operate, all the time because we're in that masculine state. Um, but I think what you guys said is very important because when you're operating from a place of maturity, you look at things very differently. I mean, extremely differently. Your mind won't even register those thoughts, and if it does, it will register it in a certain way because there's nothing wrong with appreciating women, right? Like as a man, and see, now we about to get deep, right? Because the brothers start reading. Once the brothers start reading something, now you get deep. But because I used to wrestle with that. You know what I mean? Like, especially now that you reach an age where everybody find you attractive. When everybody find you attractive, you gotta fight them off now. And it ain't you ain't throwing punches, you blocking. Because now they coming at you. And now that shit comes with a responsibility, like any other thing in life. And see, that's the part that brothers overlook. A lot of this stuff comes with responsibility under any circumstance. So no matter what you do, there's a responsibility. And you can either be responsible or irresponsible. But guess what? The outcome is going to be different. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I like what
Yeah.
Dex said, and I like what Dex said because I be outside, like people like to say, right? And I do see the vast majority of age ranges, but I do see certain people interchanging in their behavior. I'll see the 60-year-old dude acting like the 20-year-old, and I'll see the 25 acting like this one, and I'll see that one. And it really bugs me out. It boggles my mind where I say, like, damn, is this something that we continue? Is this like a continuous journey that you wrestle with? I be around brothers 54 talking about where the bitches at. You know what I mean? I'm around cats that's 20. Like, yo, is it bitches there? Excuse my language because I don't really speak like that, but I'm making a point for the
No, but you quoting somebody else.
I'm
yeah, for
quoting.
the
Hmm.
viewers that want to question my righteousness.
Yeah.
But no, like you do see it. You do see it in different forms. You see different age ranges. Um, I don't know if the question was like a personal question where you was asking me like how does it mean how much does it mean to me? You know?
It is.
Huh?
It's both. I think it's both. I think it's about generally, but also ourselves.
Well, I love and appreciate women, you know, and as long as I'm a single man, I think I could continue to exercise it from that stance until things change. You understand what I'm respectfully. I'm a single man with my options open. So with that being said, I think I could exercise my position from that standpoint until otherwise. You know, and however that may look, however that may be, that's how I may exercise it. Because it's not always about the physical. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you might spend time with a person and y'all might not even do anything physical, you know? So there's a lot of different ways to approach it. Now that don't mean that it may not go down at some point, but who's rushing it in that situation? It may be situations where it may come sooner, it may be situations where it may come later. It's all about who's looking and how you show up.
Got it. All right. Jay Burke.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where to start on this topic. Um, I guess it's like because of like my profession and all of that, like nowadays, like taking photos and always being around like all these adult film stars, I get a lot of like messages from people I've known for 20 years that's like, "Oh, here's a picture. Do you know her?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, "Oh my gosh, she's so hot. I wish I could get with her." And I'm like, if she didn't do what she does, like if porn wasn't her profession, you wouldn't look at her twice. She'd just be a regular chick to you. But because you know what she does and you don't really have to fantasize because you can see it on video, it becomes like a quest to get to her because you're like, oh my gosh, she's so hot. But if you didn't know her, you wouldn't care. And I said, if you actually knew her in person, you might not feel that way because her personality is not what you think it is. A lot of these people put on a completely different personality on camera. And then when you meet them in person, they're not the best people in the world. Some of them are cooler than they seem to be on camera. Some of them are really not. And I'm like, honestly, at the end of the day, like Days was saying, like when you get older, you kind of find people throwing themselves at you. You kind of find people just like flirting with you, and you just be going about your normal day. You could be in the supermarket and ask somebody a question, and somebody just throws a flirtatious comment your way, and you'd be like, "I'm just trying to find out where the bread is at. Like I'm not trying to like get your phone number." So it's like for me, I'm like, listen, I'm surrounded by this all day, and to me, I want substance
Yeah.
because I have the option to have everything else. I have the option. Like I always tell people, a lot of rappers on songs lie about the life they're living. I used to talk about a lot of stuff on music that I was not doing. Now I do a lot of stuff that rappers talk about that they're not doing, but I don't talk about it because it's like, why? It's my personal experience. Like I don't really have to brag on the record to be like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It doesn't mean anything to me. I'm like, that's just my personal experience. I'm not trying to make other people feel bad about this situation. So if I had a choice between let me get on camera and smash a different girl every single day, or let me have like a healthy relationship with somebody who really cares that like we hold each other down, we support each other. I don't care about the 20 women I could have on the side. Like I just want the substance because that's what's important. I don't want to wake up every single day and be like, okay, who am I conquering today? Because when you do wake up like that, and that's kind of like your goal, I feel like you always wake up every day alone. You never wake up with somebody. You always wake up as an alone person. And that may not be what you want at the end of the day. You might want that substance, but you just don't have that. And I've had people tell me like, oh, you're so lucky because you're not like married. I'm like, how is that lucky? Like you found somebody to put like a ring on your finger, you put a ring on their finger. I don't know why not having somebody would be considered lucky if you've had somebody for like the last 10 years of your life. I feel like you have something people search for. And if that wasn't true, why do we have all these dating sites out here? Like in the end, I feel like that's what people really want. Like you might want to conquer stuff in the beginning, you might want to conquer it in your 20s, even in your 50s. But if you found something that was better than all that, you throw all that away in a second.
All right, let me chime in. One, I don't like the term conquering pussy because, as Days said, conquer has a very specific meaning. Engaging with would be a better way to say it. But conquering usually leads to many other negative things, as Days said. Also, I agree with Dre. It is not about age, it's about maturity, it's about mindset. Because it doesn't matter how old you are, it's about what's going on in here. You could be 99 years old trying to fuck everybody in the nursing home. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm just being honest. That's,
Yo,
maybe that's the goal.
and that is happening in nursing
Of
homes
course
right
it's
now.
happening.
That's
That's
happening in
true.
nursing homes
That's
right now.
true. That
It's
that is
crazy
a
up in
Because
there.
fact. That's
right
true.
now,
You said
right
That's
now,
true.
99? Okay,
son,
where's
right
she
now
going?
in nurse,
I'm
right
sorry.
now,
That's real. That's
right
real.
now, yeah, right now, the demographics for STDs are going up in senior citizens. Why you think that is?
Hmm.
Why you think that is? One of the highest rising numbers in STD contraption, I guess is the way to say it, is people are getting STDs at senior citizen years. Why? Because they
They
fucking.
wilding out with Viagra over there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, why? Exactly. Exactly. They like, as soon as I'm done with Fitzgerald, I'm going to see Andre. You know what I'm saying?
Yikes.
Shit they on. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what age you are. It's about your mental state. Um, and even though everybody took what I said as silly, even though it's true, I could also see how, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna live tomorrow. Maybe I want a piece of pussy before I go out. I get it, but it leads back to something some of us call dick control.
This
Okay. Dick discipline. That's another one. Yep. It's all the same. Dick discipline, dick control. The point is, the famous line from Spider-Man holds true. What is the famous line? With great power comes great responsibility.
You gotta explain how that ties into this one.
yo, you on the road, son.
Yeah,
You
so are
on
you
the road.
saying with great dick power comes response? Like that's what's happening right now?
My
That's how
point
we're
is,
reframing it. That's how we're reframing that
I will
phrase.
expand. I will expand.
Do we got
I
a
will
blooper
expand.
reel? We got a blooper reel? Right. Oh,
Yo, I'm telling you, listen, with great power comes great responsibility. What does that mean? You have a dick. You could do a lot of things with that dick. But you have to be responsible with what you do. You can stick it in every hole and crevice you could find. That's up to you. Now, as Days said, once again, I agree with Days. If you are irresponsible, there are many things that can happen. 10 women, 10 kids with 5 women is one example, right? We all know the famous story of Eazy-E, how sadly he was doing all of these quote unquote conquering and ended up with something he couldn't get rid of, and the disease ended up killing him at a very young age. Now, this is the case. Now, it may not be either one of those extremes. Perhaps you don't have 10 kids. Perhaps you don't pass because of an STD. But you still could do many things to yourself, your brand, your reputation. The list goes on. You could do whatever you want with your penis. It is totally up to you what you do with it. But there are consequences and repercussions if you are irresponsible, if you lack discipline. Yes, sex is awesome. Sex is great. But it doesn't mean we have to go and quote unquote conquer every woman that says hello to us or passes us by in the street. I don't think this has anything to do with age. I think this has everything to do with mindset. Okay? It doesn't matter how promiscuous you might want to be, it doesn't mean you have to be. I don't think either one is right or wrong if you're being responsible. If you feel like, hey, every month I gotta fuck something new. Okay, well then, hey, every month fuck something new. But I hope you're getting tested. I hope they're getting tested, and I hope you guys are using protection and everyone is safe. Because the worst thing to do is have fun and then have a baby. The worst thing to do is have fun and now you sick. It's not a good time. Though I think there are many men who think quote unquote conquering pussy defines your manhood. I think there are lots of men walking around saying, hey, if I'm not getting new pussy all the time, I'm fucking up as a man. Because those men have set their goals in line with getting new pussy. To them, that is a priority. There are other men who have absolutely no thoughts about this. If it happens, it happens. But I got 10 other way more important things I'm trying to accomplish. And they got nothing to do with pussy, these other 10 things. I'm trying to build a business, make sure my mom is okay. My dad has this going on. My cousin, and it don't even got to be family. It could be yourself. Hey, man, right now, my job is not doing well. I'm trying to get a new job. That's priority number 1 and 2, because it's about income and stability. If you focus on income and stability, pussy is not part of that list. So I think it's about what is on your mind, what is the focus, right? Now, regardless whether you are ugly as a toad or handsome as GQ's top 10 men, as my best friend Kia likes to say, somebody likes it. There's somebody somewhere who likes it. And yes, that's true. We all have people who we come across that want to be intimate, but you decide when to say yay and when to say nay. Okay? Even when you're with someone already, there's nothing wrong with saying no if there's something more important on the priority list. If getting some pussy today means I couldn't do man cave, that'd be pretty fucked up to come up here and tell y'all, hey, I had to cancel man cave because, man, this new pussy fell in my lap and I just had to get the new pussy. Sorry, y'all. Y'all would be like, Jay, are you fucking kidding me? You canceled man cave for that? That couldn't wait till tomorrow? Or if it's somebody you with, yeah, fellas, I couldn't make it to man cave because I was on my way out. I was on my way out the door and Shorty was throwing the pussy at me. So man cave is canceled. That's why man cave is canceled? Because you just couldn't have a little bit of discipline? You couldn't have a little bit of control and say, I come back when man cave is done. Or I see you first thing in the morning. Whatever.
I was conquering new pussy, fam. I was on my Christopher Columbus.
Right. Well, that means somebody already had it.
He understood the assignment, ladies and gentlemen. He understood the
You know what I'm
assignment.
saying? That means it's and now let's go back to conquering, right? Last thing I'm gonna say, and then I'll shut up. The other problem I have with conquering is when you conquer something, you take it over and it belongs to who now?
You.
And pussy never belongs to you.
That is a fact. Your turn.
That is another common misconception. The pussy is mine. No, nigga. It's not yours. It is hers and will always be hers until she goes to the afterlife. And then I don't know what happens. Maybe she comes back as a tree. I don't know. But it's never yours because it could be somebody else's the moment you walk out. And that's a term that niggas like because we like to tie ownership to what we do with the vagina. But it's hers, kid. It's never going to be yours. It'll never be mine. It'll never be anybody's. It doesn't belong to us. So to say you're going to conquer it, you're going to take it over and now it belongs to you, this is untrue. Go ahead, Dre. I saw you.
All right. I wanted to put an interesting spin on this because I hear
Spin the bottle.
I hear what y'all saying about conquering and everything, but you know what's weird, and some of y'all will admit if it happened to you, maybe it hasn't. But you know what's weird is those kind of cats that's out there calling themselves conquering pussy are forgetting that we living in a time where women are empowered, and a lot of times with this women empowerment, they go out and have sex with whoever they want. And sometimes the conqueror becomes the conquered. Meaning you thought, okay, yeah, I got her, and then you wake up or whatever happens, and Shorty is like, yeah, I had a great time, I gotta go, and she likes to fuck a new nigga every Friday, and you just happen to be,
Darling Nikki.
you know what I'm saying? You
Boomerang.
just happen to be
Boomerang.
that dude. You know what I mean?
Boomerang.
Yeah, you just happen to be
He's
that
that
dude.
type.
Yeah, that boomerang shot she's got where it's like, oh,
All that.
you thought you was conquering something, but no, she was actually just conquering you. And now you realize you've been used, and she's not hooked to you emotionally. And she was like, yeah, that was cool, thank you, I gotta go. you know um I'm saying that because I've been there. What I mean? And you just like, oh, word. You know what I mean? Like, yo, and when you wake up and you realize that's a stupid ass game to begin with, this whole conquering or whatever. And now, because I really feel like, are we calling it conquering, or are you talking about like using? You know what I'm saying?
Well, as an artist, right?
Go
I like
through.
to call it painting a picture. So does that mean I like to paint a new picture every now and then?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You know what
I'm
I'm
just
saying?
saying because I see it as an art. Like, 'cause some people sex is an art too. You know what I'm saying? And some people
Well,
like
yeah.
paint a new
Well,
picture
yeah.
every now and then. The fresh canvas, you
But
know
see,
what I'm saying?
that's
Some new
and,
new
yeah, yeah.
brushstrokes.
That's you saying, okay, yeah, I like to engage whenever, and that's all good. I'm just getting back to that word of conquering, where it's like,
Yeah.
well, you think you're giving yourselves pats on the back because it's like, yeah, every time I get one, I got a new notch, right? And yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
I got 15, and you give yourself this like imaginary award because you've conquered X amount, but you're really not realizing that you might be being conquered, right? Like you're that dude that they just trying to get with, and she has a conquer wall too. You know what I mean? And she's like, "Yeah, bro, I got you. You didn't conquer me. I conquered you. I'm done."
Right.
And a lot of dudes don't realize it until it's actually over. When the chick is like, "Yeah, I'm done. I don't want nothing else from you. I don't want to see you again. We had our
Right.
fun. I'm out of here." Now cats is like, "Oh, wait a minute, but
Tables turn.
your tables have turned, haven't they?" So the conquering thing is all off because, like Jay said, that her body is hers. She could do what she want to do with it, and all I'm saying is, hell, you might just have been conquered yourself. So you might want to look at things a little bit deeper than that. And if it's just like, yo, you want to get with me for the night, I want to get with you for the night. Our agendas have met, and we don't want to. If we both don't want to see each other after that, great. We're on the same line. But if you're doing it because you need another notch on your belt, eh, yeah,
Yeah. Let
I
me
go back. I said,
and
yeah,
let me
go ahead,
jump in
go
on
ahead,
that.
next.
Let me jump in on that. Yeah, just like Dre said at the end there. Ultimately, if you guys got an agreement and want to have your one night thing and move on, great. But there should be some kind of respect of the act, not conquering. You know what I mean? This is what I'm going to do. You with it too, and that's what we want to do. That's what you guys choose to do. Fine. Have us just a little bit more respect for that intimate act. You know what I mean? Rather than just somebody going, "I'm conquering pussy." It's just but just have a little bit more respect for the intimate act. We're not saying you guys gonna fall in love afterwards. We're not saying you're gonna go on another date, but just have a little bit more respect at least, and learn to have that in your mindset. Podcast friends, if you're listening, who's doing this, have a little bit of respect in your mind about it, a little bit more. You know what I mean? All right, you're not gonna be with the person, fine, and the person's not gonna be with you, but shift your mind out of saying conquering pussy. I want to engage in an intimate act with this young lady, and she's cool with that. And I don't think we're going to get together again, but I'm going to respect how that night went. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
just
but
me
Yeah,
and
still,
my
right?
idealistic mind.
yeah,
But
and I think
still,
that
right?
people,
Because Dre said something too that goes along the lines of what we said earlier, right? Something that I had a conversation with a young lady about that she brought to my attention, and we talking about people associating their personality to things. And I think it's kind of, it gets instilled in us as we grow up. Like, I remember my uncle used to tell me all the time, "Yo, nephew, live your life, nephew, live your life." And even as a youngin', because my father was with my mom for like 20, 23 years, you feel what I'm saying? So I saw a consistent, steady relationship. So when my uncle would be like, "Yo, live your life," I'd be like, "Yo, uncle, living your life is not fucking a lot of women, son." Like, you feel me? Like, and because I'm like, to me, there's more to life, like traveling, this, and that. But you telling me, "Yo, live your life," And when I look back, like, hey, he ain't married, he ain't, you feel what I'm saying? And I'm saying to myself, yeah, he was living his life. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you dealing with a variety of different women that's living your life. And like I said, man, once again, we associate our personality, confidence, manhood, character to this specific act. So like Jay said, I think that was you. It's like, yeah, if I ain't doing it, I'm slacking. If I ain't doing it, my stock is dropping. If I ain't getting the number every day, every week, my stock is dropping, right? Which made me, real quick before we go, I know we've been talking, I actually asked some brothers. I remember I pulled up to a spot and this conversation came up. Because it just irks me when we just chilling and people just, "Oh, niggas ain't talking to no bitches. Nobody ain't talking to no women." It's like, yo, brother, since you got the formula, go Go ahead, go demonstrate. Because, I asked brothers, I said, if you actually bagged every woman that you saw walking down the street, I'm asking a real question. I really wanted brothers to think about this. You bag every woman walking down the street, or even every woman you seen every day for, I don't know, a month. Just give it 2 months, whatever, even a month. Let's say every day. That's 31 women. How you gonna entertain 31 women?
You must have a lot of free time.
Son, I'm really asking them a question though. Now, but the laughing stops now because you realize that this shit is it's a show. Because I'm really asking you a real question. I want you to really place your mind in that space of every woman that looks at you that you think is attractive with a fat ass and this and that. You got them. So now you got her number. Then you got her number. Then you got this number. How much time do you have in a day? Weeks.
Well,
Right.
well, Days, they can't answer that because that's not something they can accomplish. Because the whole thing is, if you can, the only answer one could truly say is that's unsustainable. There's no way, and every man who has ever dated multiple people at once knows once you get to a certain number, it's now unsustainable.
Too much.
You can't. You can't. It's like I don't know.
Even
I
for
can't
you.
say what everybody's number is, but every man who has like openly openly dated and let women know you're not the only woman I'm dating. I'm dating other women. Okay, fine, all good. But once you get to a certain number, it's unsustainable. I can't pick up another chick without letting
Right.
something else go. The other thing I want to say in terms of conquering is I think that speaks to an insecure person to even use that terminology. I feel like there's a lot of insecurities with you, so you got to use a language that says, I overtook something.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Overcompensation.
Yeah, yeah, because if you are secure within yourself, why would you even use that terminology? You know what I'm saying? Like when there's times when I was dating, more than one woman, I never said, "Oh, I'm gonna go out tonight and conquer something."
Right.
I'll go out and meet something, or blah blah blah, or hey, I want to do something a little bit different, or whatever. But
Right.
never that I needed to conquer. Conquer to me feels like, yo, you going through some insecurities within yourself, and you're trying to compensate by having X amount of women in your life, or X amount of women on or notched on your belt. Therefore, that means I'm a manly man because had, I have these amount of women. But real dudes know that that shit is unsustainable and there's no way you can possibly keep that going.
Even when I saw the topic, the first thing I thought about was like brothers who are dedicated to their craft, dedicated to their business, their brand. We're amazing parents, fathers, teachers, sons, brothers, servicemen. The list goes on. And I would like to think that brothers have great discipline to where we could focus on the things that we are doing that's impacting the world, impacting our kids, impacting our growth. Aside from, it's something that I say when I be with my homies. I say, yo, can we go somewhere? Can we do something with women? It's not the motivation. Brothers just be like, yo, I want to go over there. I'm like, yo, I'm going. Is it women over there? I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, I got a show. You asking me, is it going to be women there? So you're not coming to see me perform. You're coming to see the chicks in the crowd. That's what you're telling me.
Right.
I'm asking you.
Because,
Go ahead, Jay.
sorry, it's because this thing has been ingrained in us since young, like you're saying with your uncle, for example, where, hey, if you're a man, you have to constantly be around women. You have to constantly be quote unquote conquering
But why?
women.
Why?
Well, no, I was about to get to that, and
Okay.
I agree that it has a lot to do with hyper masculation, hyper masculinity, excuse me, and like Dre said, the insecurities. Because when you see the dude, if you forget about C, if you know the dude who's saying where the bitches, is there gonna be bitches there? But they gotta be bitches. He usually don't have bitches.
Sorry for the word, too, for the viewers. We just make an example.
But that's what the guy is saying. So I'm just, you're right. I don't even like using that word. But my point is, it's the same thing as when we had the alpha male conversation, right? The cats who's walking in, yo, man, I run shit in here. Yo, son, I'm that dude. It's usually not. Like, not. It's usually not. And it's the same thing. The dude who's like, yo, man, oh, man, just so many women. Oh, man, it's just, I gotta get them all. It's not Pokemon. Like, you don't gotta catch them all, one. And two, like you said, and like Dre said, if you've tried that, all right, son, after 5, I just can't do it. Or whatever your number is. I'm saying 5 as a random example, but I mean, it's just not sustainable. Like Dre said, it's like we all have who've done it know, all right, whatever this number is, after this number is too much for me to handle. It's too much communication. It's too much time consuming. It's just not worth it. It's too much drama, too many arguments. And for what? A piece of pussy? All right, cool. I'm not saying pussy is not great. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's spectacular. We love it. All right, great. But what else? You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to dick discipline, dick control, whatever you want to call it, being responsible. And like Dex said, having respect for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Why is it that you think so low of yourself that you think you just have to give yourself to everyone who comes across you? You don't value yourself. You don't value your time. You don't value your dick. I mean, it just anybody could get it. Like, oh yeah, Shorty was on my 600-pound life, but she could get it. Yeah, Shorty can't even eat a meal without fingering her throat so she could throw up because she's trying to stay anorexic. She could get it. It's like, son, you don't respect yourself. You don't look at yourself as the prize.
And
You
that's
don't
that.
look
Yes.
at
That,
yourself as
Now we
someone
you're
talking.
worthy.
See,
right.
but
You're totally right.
Now we
I like
talking.
that classic
Now
quote. You don't value your dick.
You know what I'm
let me tell
saying?
you,
That's the drop.
That's the
That's gonna be
quote.
the
y'all
promo
could,
for this
That's the
one. You
quote.
don't value your dick. Like I'm just saying.
For
Like
real.
I could
just
like, I could
just
like answer
putting
that
your
in the question
sword
though.
in. You just putting your sword in any sheath. It's not even if it fits right. Just like it's going in there.
Real
I
talk
could
though.
like what you said as far as like people not valuing it. I think they value other people's opinions more than they value themselves. And I feel like peer pressure never goes away for a lot of people. So if you're
Yeah, that's
around a
J.
crowd
Cole.
of, yeah, so if you're around a lot of crowd of people and they're like, ah, man, I was doing this last night. I was doing this last night. Somebody feels entitled to like kind of like jump in and be like, yeah, I was fucking this bad chick last night. You know, you wasn't doing that. You were sitting at home watching the movie. But because
Right.
everybody else says that's what they were doing, you can't
Mm-hmm.
say something different because now you feel pressured to join in that conversation. And
Yep.
I feel like everybody always has to up their body count because you can't be the dude that's like, I've been with 2 women in my lifetime and I've been in long-term relationships because they're like, man, I done had 20 women over the last 2 years. Because then you look like the odd man out, and a lot of people can't handle that pressure, so they kind of cave to all that, and they got to say what they say just to fit in and not get teased or made fun of. Until you get older, and you kind of realize that's not important. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
want validity, if you want to be validated from people who think that way, I think you need to find new people to be around.
Mm.
Well said.
Mm.
Well said.
Yep.
And niggas be lying. Just
Well said.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
yeah, like yeah, because cat and you're right. you're right, Jay. Like cats lie all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh man, they said he was out at the event and there was a lot of women there. So since I wasn't at the event, I got to make it seem like I was curled up with the baddest chick in the tri-state area. So it's okay. It's okay to be home studying. It's all right. Like it's okay to be home studying. So you don't got to be presenting this facade. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. But
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
Like,
she had the index cards, making sure he knew the right words. Like, come on, son, stop,
telling you,
stop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Yeah.
it's all about peer pressure. People always gotta prove something. Even it's not even just other guys; it's other women. Like
Mm.
sometimes I was around an event yesterday, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" There's probably like 70 women at that event. Women walking around, jumping in the pool. Bunch of them, hey, what are you doing later? You going here? You going there? I said, no, I'm going to this wrestling event. They seemed like they didn't actually know how to respond because I didn't want to hang out at a pool party where a bunch of like sex workers are walking around naked. I'm like, nope, I'm about to leave in 10 minutes. I'm going to this wrestling event. But I'm like,
Yeah, you got other
I like,
priorities.
yeah, I like what I like. Like, I don't need that. Like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm socializing, but I like what I like. I don't need to fit in with what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, it's always like that. It's always like that. No matter if you don't fit into a certain thing, people look at you, you're strange. If you say to yourself, you know what? Oh, I know everybody's doing shots, but I don't want any alcohol. What's wrong with you? What's your problem? You know, it's like anytime you say no, but that's not my thing. Y'all do that, people gonna look at you like you're the weird one because you're choosing to go. I want to say kind of against the grain because that's what everybody is expected to do. But that's what makes you corny if you do that. In my eyes, you know.
Yeah.
But that's also because, and this is a deeper topic probably for another time, but that's also because cats are scared to be the odd man out, right? It's like you. I always like to say, okay, cool. What would you prefer, normal or not normal? Because think about what normal is before you answer the question. Normal means I do the same thing as everybody else. So you want to be the same as everybody else, or you want to be weird? I prefer to be weird.
Unique, for like a better word.
Yeah, I don't. Sure, but I'm saying that's the stigma, though. The stigma is like Dre said, we all doing shots, 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 shots. No, I don't feel like drinking tonight. I got a headache. Oh, you're mad weird. You're weird. Why are you at the bar hanging out when you won't do no shots? That's weird. It's like, all right, well then I'll be weird. I'm cool with being weird. I said I got a headache and I don't feel like taking shots. So all right, I'm weird. Fuck it. Now what?
You at a bar and you don't drink, like niggas who don't drink can't come and hang out and be social.
I know, right?
Right.
I know.
You at the bar
I
and you
know.
don't drink. You never drink.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So right. So then I'm weird. Now what?
Right.
And that's what fucks niggas up. In that instance, if Dre says, nah, I'm not having no shots, they be like, oh, Dre, you weird. He'd be like, okay, I'm weird. Now niggas don't know what to say. Oh,
Right. Right. And
because
then
everybody want to be down. Everybody want to be quote unquote normal.
yeah, and the thing about it is, well, if I was so weird, how come the same establishment sells non-alcoholic beers for the weirdos like me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, do they care about me drinking alcohol? Or are they trying to make money?
Right.
You
Now who's weird?
know?
They get stuck on that one.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let's move on to something that I think is weird. And I'm sure you've all heard about it, but it was also on the topic list. The legend, Mike Tyson, has a fight coming up. In July, he'll be having a fight that you probably didn't guess he would fight. And I think it's kind of weird, but I also have a theory of my own. And so he's fighting one of the Paul brothers, Logan Paul or one of them.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. Oh, okay.
That's this Saturday?
Yeah. So
this Saturday?
it's in July.
Oh, July.
It's in July.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that this episode of Man Cave Monday was recorded prior to the announcement that you see here. So I just wanted to let y'all know, so y'all don't think we're dumb or bugging or just misinformed. We simply recorded before it was announced.
I looked it up the other day. It's sometime in July. That's what I found. But maybe they'll change the date. Who knows? But Mike Tyson is set to fight him. This is an exhibition. This is not a, license or whatever the term is. It's not a fight that counts on anyone's record. It's an exhibition. It's for fun, quote unquote. Um, and Mike Tyson has accepted this fight, and it's happening. It's not a joke. It's not a prank. It's legit. And so I'm curious what everyone's thoughts on it is. I'll just leave it as it's weird for now, and then I'll chime back in a minute.
It's sad to me, man. I mean, okay, everything has its pros and cons, so I guess we look at the pros. It's a
Okay.
it's a big money grab for everybody, right?
Right.
Mike's sitting at home. Mike is making a lot of money. Mike is doing it all, but it's like, yo, Mike, you want to make a quick 50 mil, or I have no idea how much it is, but I
Oh, let me see if I can find it while you talk.
yeah, but whatever it is, we know it's millions. Mike getting close to 60 if he's not there yet. Like shit, you just gonna give me 60, to box this cat, whatever. Fine, okay, so make your money. If that's what it's about, congratulations, make your money. Jake Paul makes his money, sponsors make their money, everybody's gonna watch it. Okay, great. But let's just flip it for a second. Um, I look at it as they still don't respect our black legends. You know what I mean? Our black legends don't get respect, man, because this man should not be fighting anybody in a boxing ring. He been through these chambers already. You know what I'm saying? He's already proven himself as a boxer. He's already been the world heavyweight champion of the world.
Right.
So what does he have to prove to anybody? Zero. I already made it. The person who needs to prove themselves is these Paul brothers cats. Because to me, y'all corny. Like, okay, y'all got the views and y'all got all that, but y'all not fighting hungry boxers of your age and who are willing to go to the absolute edge and fight you. You don't want to fight younger dudes. You don't want to fight dudes who are more talented than you, right? You don't want to give somebody a shot at becoming famous. So you're gonna constantly and I see it with all their fights. They choose who they want to fight. Oh, I'm gonna fight. I don't know. I'm just making up stupid shit right now. I'm gonna fight this homeless guy. I'm gonna fight this 50-year-old vet. I'm gonna fight this blah blah blah. And it's like it's like a circus show, bro. If you a boxer, right? You a boxer, box dudes who are willing and ready for you. There's a plenty of young brothers who don't have what you have, and they starving right now. And you know where they at right now as we speak? Practicing in some boxing gym somewhere and did some dingy ass fucking place, ready to light a motherfucker up. Pick one of those dudes, son. Be a real boxer. To me, you corny because you're not boxing people at your level. I can say, right, I'm a fighter. I'm a fourth degree black belt. What pride does it take me to walk into somebody's school and be like, yo, I'm going to fight this white belt over here. I'm going to fight this guy who just started 3 weeks ago.
And I'm gonna fight JD, who don't even do martial arts.
Right. And then, yeah, now I'm going to pick famous people that, are possibly gone. Like, okay, it's like me saying,
I'll
yo,
be back. I'll be
I'm going to
back.
fight. Go for it. I'm going to go fight Chuck Norris, the nigga who's in his 80s right now. And come on, Chuck. Let me see what you got. Nigga, you not fighting young Chuck from 1975 who was whipping niggas' asses in
Right.
tournaments and kicking everybody ass. You want to fight an elderly man now because he has the name Chuck Norris? Come on, man. There's no respect in that. For a money grab? Nah, you're supposed to respect your elders, respect your legends. So I look at it with a lot of shame. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Mike is marketable. Mike could make, if Mike said, yo, I'm going to go fight a fucking pit bull and it's going to be on pay-per-view, niggas will watch this shit. That's just, Mike is marketable. He's been the most marketable boxer ever. So of course, cats are gonna go watch because Mike is marketable. Mike could be like, yo, I'm gonna fight a fucking gorilla. Fuck it, and people will watch it. I'm gonna do what I used to do when I was young, and I'm gonna fight a tiger. Mike used to fuck around with tigers in his fucking mansion, just slap boxing these motherfuckers because he's wild. Whatever. People will watch it if you put pay-per-view Mike versus a fucking Siberian tiger. We're gonna watch the shit. So I get the money grab, but it's like, bro, at a certain age, you legendary. You don't need to do this shit. And Jake Paul, you corny because you're not fighting real boxers. I have no respect for you as a fighter. I'm done.
All right. Real quick before anybody goes, two things to what y'all guys asked. So Mike Tyson is about to be 58 years old. When this fight happens, he'll be 58. I cannot confirm the number that he's getting paid, but a couple of sites that I don't really trust 100%, but a couple different sites say 20 mil for Mike. So I just wanted to say that before anybody else jumps in that might inform some of the things that people are about to say. I'm still looking, but that's what I was able to find. Oh, and the last thing is this is happening in the NFL's biggest arena and will be streamed live on Netflix, July 20th.
Cheddar on top of cheddar on top of cheddar on top of cheddar.
Right.
Fuck it. Like I said, man, the man's almost 60, so yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I wasn't saying it to...
No, I'm just saying, like, I let other people speak. Go ahead.
Yes, Days. They absolutely are. This is not the first... Yeah. Yeah. Netflix is not playing when it comes to the live streaming thing. They are definitely ramping it up. They did it with Dave Chappelle's last special. Next month, or rather when this airs, it will have already happened. But
and let me
Cat Williams, what happened?
No, I'm saying, let me just say something because it's obviously bothering me. This is nothing new. Like, they've been doing this to black champions forever. Look up like Jake Johnson, boxer. You know, they had this man in his 50s, 60s. Come on out, you know, hey, watch this guy box. Like, never letting us just be a legend. Like, cats are not satisfied till they actually see you broken as an older man. They do this to a lot of our sports characters. You know, cats who already proven themselves in their 20s. You know, oh yeah, now he's in his 50s and his 60s. Go ahead, Days.
That's the age of humiliation.
Right, but that's the only time you can get him. You can't get him in his prime,
right? Because, and I wasn't gonna go, but jumping in, it's funny. Mike Tyson was in the town recently, you know, and it was him and the brother Briggs. That's how you name. What's his name?
I saw it. Yep.
And it's funny because I was a block away. I said, God damn it, I should have made the next right. I was a block away, a block away. And you see how they hyped up that situation. Shit, it's just a matter of time before they try to get that. You feel what I'm saying? Go down. Now they, oh, Shannon and Mike and oh, yeah, we should do it. And going back to the point that Dre made about them not letting, well, I hate the term not letting, because whatever you do is what you did. It's etched in stone, depending on who's looking. Like I said, I'm gonna keep saying that. But yeah, they don't let them rest because they wasn't really feeling you when you was at the top. So it was just a matter of time before they really tarnish your legacy. And they choose, I call it the age of humiliation. You know, you an old person. You get what I'm saying? You can't really move at the same pace as you move, so you might have an accident on yourself, or you might trip and fall. It's that time of humiliation. And then before you know it, that takes over your career. You tripping and falling right there. That's like the whole legacy of your career now.
right?
Well, what do we say to the other side, where these elder gentlemen are signing up for this?
Well, what I say is, like I said, it's a quick money grab. That's exactly what it is. It's just a quick money grab. So it's like, once you get to a certain age, I mean, let's look at acting for a second, because nobody really gets hurt in acting, right? You see where someone's getting older and older, their phone call is not, they're not getting the calls they used to get when they were in their 20s and 30s. Like now they're 50, they're 60, 70. So someone comes up to them with a script, you 70 years old, and they're like, yo, they want you in Star Wars. Yes. Right? You're not going to be like, oh, I don't know. You're going to jump on it. Because at 70, bro, you're not getting a lot of phone calls, son. You're not getting a lot. You better get in there. So I see it as a quick money grab.
Yeah. We want you to play a
But
piece of shit.
also, also, also with our black legends, especially men, we have these warriors. I want to say like athletes, whatever, have that ego, the ego to not let go. To be like, yo, I did my time. This is for y'all now. Y'all young bucks. This is for y'all. We supposed to, when we get to a certain age, not only pass the baton, but Mike should have 15 mics right now, like building cats up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about me. I done built 15 more cats. These cats are taking belts all across the world. That's what's supposed to happen, right? I don't want anyone to judge me by what Dre did. Judge me by how many other Dre's I got out there, how many other black belts I got out, how many other people I've made, the dozens and dozens of cats that I've like affected. That's what you're supposed to do when you get to a certain age. Not try to be the same dude you was at 20. That's ridiculous. And I just feel like male ego has something to do with that as well. Yes, money, of course, money, but there's also that ego that a lot of male athletes have, especially men of color.
Yeah, but then I was about to say, great segue. I was about to say cultural male ego. Because Jake is a great white hope right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He is a great white hope. And I swear him up. Listen to me, brother. I better not see nothing no different than Mike walking away with a W. Because if not, then I'm really gonna know that this is some bullshit. You understand what I'm saying when they come to these white boys? Because I think it has a lot to do with ego. And Mike is a badass. He ain't taking. You better watch what you say when he around and when he not around. You feel what I'm saying? I agree with you. But he also is a man of a certain level of integrity because certain shit happened to him. You understand what I'm saying? Because he may have allowed certain things to take place because of his lack of knowledge of certain things. I feel like he's not one of them niggas that you could trash talk to, especially given that Jake doing the same thing that he doing. So I'm agreeing with you, but
Who would take Brett Favre, right? We all know who Brett Favre is. Who would take Brett Favre right now, right? Put him in the NFL as a quarterback, and then let some young dude just smash him, you know what I'm saying? Just break him apart, right? They would never let that happen. And then have the young dude be like, I took out Brett Favre. I took out, like, son, you took out a 50-something-year-old dude, and you ain't take out young Brett Favre, the cat that was killing it in the fucking 90s. You ain't take that cat out. You took the dude that is pretty much retired, came back for a money grab, and now you want to get props for beating that. Like, even if he beats Mike Tyson, let's just say he will. I don't think he will either, but let's just say he will. I wouldn't give you zero respect because you taking out a almost 60-year-old boxer, not in his prime, and you young as fuck, Jake. What is Jake? 30?
27.
32? How many? How much?
I believe 27, the article said.
27. Come on. Where was Mike at 27?
let's play devil's advocate though. Let's play devil's advocate though, right? I remember I was at my son's basketball game for them to go to the championship, to the playoffs, right? And the other team got a ringer. You feel me? And their team was so focused on the ringer. And I said, man, where I'm from, if somebody went and got their big brother to fight me with them, because they couldn't fight me by themselves, that shit made me feel invincible. Like, damn, you had to go get your big brother for me too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, like, part of looking at it from the flip side is them also still knowing our strength, right? Still knowing that we're strong individuals. So that we could look at it like Jay like to say, looking at it from both sides. As you was talking, I don't know, I just thought about that perspective for a second. Like, yeah, that's because they know what it is. Like they know, like we refuse to give up. You get what I'm saying? Like being strong and showing up with a certain level of strength is at our core. Especially someone such as Mike Tyson. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we talking about somebody standing up for what they believe in at all costs.
All right.
All right, let's let somebody else chime in. Dex, Jay, what y'all feel like?
I'm just looking at Jake Paul's opponents. Former basketball players, former UFC and MMA fighters, which is not professional boxers. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different sport. YouTubers, look, it's a spectacle. It's a spectacle. I agree with mostly with pretty much everything Andre said. It's a spectacle. You know what I mean? It's just a spectacle. And you don't want to see the champ go out like, fighting this kid, you know what I mean? Um, am I gonna watch it? Yes.
Exactly. Man,
I'm
we all
going
gonna
to
watch
watch
it.
it. I will be watching it.
Oh,
And
man.
if I have to think about it, look, what can I tell you, man? I don't even know what to say about it. It's a spectacle. This is just nothing but a spectacle. Yeah, and all I'm gonna say is, Tyson is a different breed. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? I mean that clip that Days was talking about where Shannon Briggs and Tyson took their shirt off in the street. I thought it was about to go down right there in the street. You know what I mean? I'm like, these guys look pretty. I mean, we know Mike Tyson ain't coming in with any bad performance, I guess. But yeah, it's nothing but a spectacle, and you kind of wish that he wouldn't let himself get part of that Jake Paul circus, until Jake Paul says, "Hey, I'm gonna really get into let me fight somebody who's really about it, like right now." You know what I mean? Who's doing this all day, every day? This is all they do.
He
They're
never
not
will.
retired. He's not gonna do that. He likes the spectacle. They want to have this like influencer lane influencer division. So I just dismiss it as a spectacle. Yes, I will be watching and Brooklyn all day. All
Holler.
right, all right, Brooklyn all day. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm following. But
All
yeah, it's a
right.
spectacle. I'm just meh. I'm just like meh. You know.
All right. Jay Burke.
Yeah.
I guess I'll play on the other side. So it's like I've never watched Jake Paul like fight before. So for me, it's like I hear a lot about Jake Paul, but I don't watch him. I've never watched his fights.
Hmm.
I feel like because he isn't like natural boxer like anybody else, everybody already looks at him like we're not going to take this guy seriously. So if you keep challenging like celebrities and MMA fighters who don't naturally box, unless you challenge someone who's actually a boxer, whether they're in their prime or whether they're like, older like Mike Tyson, no one's going to look at you like you're a real boxer. It doesn't matter how many people you fight and knock out and win against. So it's going to be like, okay, nobody takes me serious. I'm going to challenge the biggest dog in the yard. Because honestly, even if Mike Tyson gets in there with him, Mike Tyson at 60 is still, registered hands can knock you out, can kill you, all that other stuff. So it's like Mike is dangerous as long as his hands work. It doesn't really matter what age he is. He might not be able to move the same, but his hands is always going to work. But on the other note, I feel like the younger boxers, it would look way worse for them if they were to like get into a fight with Jake Paul and lose because you're supposed to be in your prime. You're not supposed to lose to somebody like a Jake Paul. This shouldn't happen. It's like when a high school player is playing somebody that's in the NBA one-on-one and you hear about those stories back in the day when somebody cooked somebody. That's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to be the vet. That's not supposed to be recorded. It's not supposed to be on camera, but it has happened. So for Tyson to go in there, if Tyson loses, which I don't think he will, it doesn't necessarily hurt his reputation. I wouldn't do it. I feel like Tyson has enough money where he shouldn't have to do something like that. But Tyson might feel like you're not a real boxer. I'm going to shut you up, even if it's exhibition. Even if it's that, I'm going to show you what it is to face a real boxer. If Jake Paul loses, he doesn't lose anything. Like, he can't lose anything by losing that fight. Tyson has more to lose than him. If Jake Paul loses, it's not the first fight he's lost. He's lost other matches. He's lost other boxing matches. If
To
Tyson
a pro
loses,
boxer.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's what I'm saying. So he's lost. As long as he's lost, I don't think that he has anything to lose besides, like, oh, that's another L. Tyson, even for me, if Tyson loses, like, that doesn't change my perspective, because, like, Tyson's like my favorite boxer of all time. So it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
change my perspective of Tyson. I know what Tyson was doing in his prime. And when it comes to, like, Jake Paul, it's like, okay, you beat Tyson, whatever. I'm not a fan of Jake Paul. I'm not going to watch you anyway. If you lose to Tyson, it's like, whatever. Either way, people are still going to have the same idea of Tyson that they had before if you really like a fan of him. And if you don't, I don't think your opinion should be swayed by what a 60-year-old Tyson does against a 27-year-old Jake Paul. I feel like your opinion should remain the same either way, because look at the age difference, look at the skill, look at the just everything, and the differences between them is a 33-year age difference. There's going to be that is what boils down to an equal fight in somebody's eyes. Mike Tyson at 60 against somebody at 27, because Mike Tyson at 40 would kill Jake Paul, and everybody knows that.
All right, Days, it looked like you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
You know, I think that's an amazing statement, Act. I'm gonna vote for you. However, I spend most of my time on the internet, and when you browse through the comment section, you realize that a lot of people don't use their head in that fashion. They don't really think that in depth. They're not that intricate when it comes to placing their opinions on things. I'm telling you, man, there's no hope for humanity in the comment section at all. So with that being said, they gonna have a ball with this. You feel what I'm saying? Especially the people that don't look like Mike Tyson. They don't give a damn. That boy whooped a legend's ass that was able to be like a badass. He was knocking down anybody that was in his path. I think the only thing they gonna be looking at is the fact that we still have faith in Tyson. People believe that Tyson could whip his ass regardless of what age he is. And if he lose, I think that's where the focus is gonna stand. Like, yo, Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson. It don't matter. Like, remember what I said? Humiliation stage. They focus on you falling off your bike. Joe Biden falling off his bike versus who he is as a president. He fell off his bike at something age, and people joked and laughed, and now that's like the punchline. You feel what I'm saying? So I think, like, there's certain things that could take place that could overshadow someone's legacy. That's all I'm saying. They could use certain situations to try to overshadow the legacy. That's all I'm trying to say.
Got you.
I
Uh,
definitely agree with that, especially with the comment sections.
yeah, the
Comments is great.
comment section is always bananas. All right, let me chime in. So I think Days knows me well and knows I like to embrace multiple perspectives. So let's come at this from a couple of different perspectives. The first perspective is Jake Paul is 27 years old. He has a 9-1 professional boxing record, and he is an internet sensation. On the business side, whoever is backing him knows that we can fill seats, we can break streaming records, and we can bring in a shit ton of money. That's the Jake Paul side. Now let's add an asterisk to that same side. Being Jake Paul, he knows some of the things everyone here has said. His team knows some of those things that people have said. And he knows if I could go in the ring with a legend who people still fear today and hold my own, they'll put some respect on my name. That's perspective one. Perspective two, Netflix. We are expanding into live events being streamed. We are doing things more and more where we are looking to kind of hit the reset button on live television. Today, because of Netflix, arguably, it's all about streaming, right? arguably the pioneers of streaming, Netflix, know the game has changed. We are down in money and our investors are not happy. Bringing in original content was working for a little while, but it ain't working so well. We've tried to bring in other shows like Friends, like The Office, like Seinfeld, legendary shows that people are going to watch so we could get paid off of those streams. But still, our revenue ain't up. So we're going to try something different. We're going to try to expand. You got Dave Chappelle, who we got a great relationship with. We streamed his event live. Cat Williams, we already in business with him, and he had a monstrous start to 2024, excuse me. We're going to have his next special be a live broadcast on our platform. And not only that, but we now have a deal with something that Jay Burke just mentioned, wrestling. We have a contract with WWE. We will be streaming shows live on our platform next year. This Jake Paul kid seems to have a big following. We know Mike Tyson also has a huge following. If we put these two behemoths together, we could get our shit on and popping. Hopefully, this does like one of our first events, Love is Blind Reunion, and it does so well, the stream breaks and shuts down, and we do record numbers. Our investors will be very happy. Third perspective, Mike Tyson. I love boxing. I'm a beast. I will always be a beast. This is his quote, not mine. Anybody who's put in front of me, I will gladly take their head off. This is Mike Tyson's quote, not mine. Mike Tyson has a popular weed brand, cannabis brand, a popular podcast, a popular clothing brand. He's now training people. The money's coming in from everywhere. He even took his infamous Evander Holyfield ear bite and turned it into cannabis gummies called Bites and his little ears. Very popular as soon as it was launched. Him and Evander Holyfield did this together. Mike Tyson knows this kid is just a kid who he could probably knock out in the first round if he really wants to. But he also understands economics and understands I'm 58 years old. No one expects me to walk in there and beat this kid who's a fraction of my age. So if I go in there and hold my own, that's all I really got to do. This ain't no real fight. This is an exhibition. All I got to do is go in there and dance around. I say dance, Mike don't dance, but play around a little bit for a couple minutes, put on a good show, and collect my 20 million. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I don't think Mike is worried about his brand. I don't think Mike is worried about losing. I don't think Mike is worried about his image. I think Mike is pretty clear that Mike feels like I'm going to get this easy 20 mil, even if it ends in a draw, like the fight I had with Roy Jones Jr., which was also a money grab. And the final perspective, my perspective. I think this is just business as usual. I don't think Mike Tyson is going to let this kid knock him out. The same way I don't think Jake Paul's people will allow Mike Tyson to knock him out. I think there is something in writing in the contract that states no one can get knocked out in this fight because, one, we're not going to tarnish Mike's career, and two, we need Jake Paul for these other fights because there's a business behind Jake Paul. If he gets knocked out by 58-year-old Mike Tyson, the money's over. The game is done. The run is over. And so I think there's something in writing that states we're going to have a good fight. It's probably going to end in a draw the same way the Roy Jones fight did. We're going to each show them a little bit of what we could do. And that's it. Everybody makes good money. And who knows, if it goes well, maybe a year from now, we hype up the rematch of all rematches. It broke Netflix numbers. The seats were sold out. 75,000 tickets sold for the arena. And man, y'all know it was so good. Y'all been asking for this for a year. Well, goddamn it. October of 2025, we back with the rematch that you all asked for. I think that's what it is. I think this is business as usual. And I think that's what's in writing. I think in writing is that Jake Paul cannot lose. And yeah, sure, Mike can knock this kid out in a minute. If you've seen any of the footage of Mike training, even last fight for Roy Jones Jr., Mike don't look like no slouch. Mike look like he could easily take half of the boxing industry right now. But I don't think they're going to allow that to happen. Is there a racial aspect to this, as you guys have said? Of course. Is there a age thing to this? Of course. But is the kid a professional fighter? Technically, yes. He has a 9-1 record. Is he worthy of fighting someone with the record and the prestige of Mike Tyson? No, I don't believe so. But also, this is not a sanctioned fight. This is an exhibition. An exhibition is just about fun. It's just about a good time. And so we're going to give y'all a good time. That's my perspective.
You said Jake Paul has a 9-1 record, right?
Professionally, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and how many titles has he won?
0. That's why I said, is he worthy of the fight and the prestige? No.
So the 9-1 record don't mean shit. If I go outside and just bust people's asses and just say, "Yo, put that on my record," that don't mean anything. The 9-1 record, the whole thing of a record is a professional record.
No, that is his
Meaning
professional record.
You can't have a professional record when you're not fighting professionals.
No. He's done both. That's what I'm saying. I just looked it up. The fights we're talking about are not on the professional record. He has a professional record of 9-1.
All right. So
Listen, let me be clear. 9-1 don't make you worthy of fighting champions and legends. I'm not saying that. And that's why I said, is he worthy of the prestige of fighting somebody like a Mike Tyson? In my opinion, no. But I just want to say, but I think we have to be honest and say, hey, a lot of people say he's not a professional fighter. I'm just letting people know, I'm being semantics, man, on purpose, that yes, he has a 9-1 professional record. So it's not that he's never had professional fights. Is he worthy of fighting Mike? Hell no. But
so my thing is this.
Do got a 9-1 record. Go ahead.
So my thing is this. Jake, you want to be a boxer? Box boxers. Win a belt in something. You know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of different belts all across the world in boxing. Most boxers say to themselves when they want to become a boxer, I'm going to be the so-and-so. I'm going to be the international boxing champion of this. I'm coming out of Mexico. I'm going to get this belt. I'm going to get that belt. That's boxing. This bullshit social media, it's a workaround. That's all it is. It's like, it's taking your medical exam online in 2 months. That's all the fuck it is to me. And then people, oh yeah, but I am a doctor because I took this online degree in it. Nigga, you ain't work in a hospital, you ain't do no residency, you ain't do shit. But you get to put PhD because you did this bullshit workaround. And that's all the fuck he's doing. You're not a fucking boxer until you box other people. Win a fucking belt.
Playing operations,
and then we can have a conversation.
You playing operation.
Yeah. Win a fucking belt, bro. Win a belt in something. Win a belt in something.
Yeah.
It's mad boxing federations, brother. Anybody know anything about boxing? It's mad boxing federations.
Yeah.
Win a belt in one of them. And then we can maybe have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? You going all the way to the top. Any of y'all watch Kung Fu movies? 36 Chambers, right? And 36 Chambers, my man was like, what chamber do you want to start in? I don't think I start in the 35th. Nigga, you just got here and you want to go to the 35th chamber? Yeah, because, I don't really have a lot of time and shit. And I'm like, that's what we doing right now? We just bringing niggas up to the 35th chamber that go through no chambers at all. You ain't win a belt in shit. You ain't go through nobody's federation.
The teacher said he could skip to the next grade.
And that's what it is. It's like, it's a lot of teachers, and I'm gonna say this as a person who gives out black belts. It's like, or gives out belts. A lot of times people will be like, okay, give me $250 and I'll give you a black belt.
Right.
And it's like, well, the black belt don't mean shit. And now you put this black belt around this kid. This kid walks around and be like, I got a black belt. I got a black belt. Okay, go outside, son.
He got a black eye too.
Battle niggas.
Right.
Go to a tournament and battle niggas now since you're a fucking black belt. You won't do that because you know you are soft and you didn't go through the fucking trainings. You didn't go to the chambers. You know that you are lacking. And Jake Paul know that he's lacking. Is he on the money train? Sure, why not? If we just look at life based on money, then I need to shut the fuck up. But if we're talking about boxing, I don't give a fuck how much money you got, bro.
Right.
Well, fuck. You not a boxer until you box.
All right.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts before we get out of here, fellas? Nope. All right. Well, viewers, listeners, thank you for being here. My usual cast, thank you for being here. And Jay Burke, thank you for being our guest.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Man Cave Monday. We will see y'all next month.